Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me on another video. I first have to say guys, I really do appreciate all of your support and encouragement on this new thing that I'm doing with my channel in terms of appearing more on camera, because you guys know my comfort zone is just to show my hands. And so for me to kind of step out on a limb and really kind of come more out in front of you by doing these types of videos and to receive the feedback I've been receiving from you guys is fantastic. And it really just pushes me forward and it makes me want to create more content just like this, because I just feel a sudden burst of encouragement and confidence. And so thank you so much for all of the kind words that you guys have been putting below in my comments. That just makes me want to push forward. So I first had to come on and tell you guys that because I just really appreciate it. So we're doing another one of those types of videos today where I appear on camera, and I'm probably gonna just maintain a balance on my channel where I do maybe half of these type of videos and then half of Plan With Me's and videos where you only see an overhead shot. So that's my plan since I have this newfound confidence. So that's what we're doing today. In this video, I'm going to show you how I implemented a weekly review. Now, I was not doing a weekly review in the past, and I felt okay with my planning, but I'm thinking by adding this weekly review, it's just going to help me be more proactive and stay on top of things more efficiently. And so I'm looking forward to implementing it, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. It also includes a free printable, and so I know you guys love those, so all you'll have to do is just be subscribed to my blog, and then you'll have access to the members only site where you can download this printable, and it is 3 pages, so that's even more better. So if you want to see how I've implemented a weekly review within my planning, make sure to stick around. Alright, so I have been reading several articles online and throughout Pinterest where I've seen people implement this type of system where they will review their week, and they said it worked really well for them. And since they implemented it, it really kind of helped to reduce stress and they were able to stay on top of things more effectively. So I said, why not implement it within my planning system? So what I may do, and I'm just going to get your feedback on this, let me know what you think. So I was thinking of maybe doing a weekly review on my channel where I kind of go back through my planner and I talk through some key points, some wins, some losses, some things I need to change, and show you how I use that printable worksheet. What do you think? So leave comments below. Let me know if that's something that you'd want to see on my channel, and of course I'll implement it. And that way you guys can kind of see after the pin spreads. I do post after the pin spreads on my Instagram, and so if you're following me there, you've been able to see some after the pin spreads. But I was just thinking about going into that a little more in depth, because I think my channel is kind of moving towards more of a productivity and planning type of channel, which is okay, right? And so I'm thinking that if I show more of that may help some of you, and that's my goal here. So let me know if that's something that you want to see. So I have developed a printable that you guys can print out, and you can punch it and you can insert it into your happy planner. That way you can keep track of your week in review, and you can kind of write out some things, some key things, and you can kind of just review it just to see kind of where you're at and what you may want to improve on. So let me show you those printables. So these are the printables, and I'm going to give you a closer look because I know some of you say when I do a shot like this, you can't really see everything. So I'm going to do an overhead shot, and I'm going to show you exactly how to cut these out. I've already printed them out. I'm going to punch them for you, and then I'm going to walk you through what is included. So again, 3 pages here included. So you've got 3 different options that you can choose from. So I'll go over them really quickly for you, and I'll show you how I'm going to use these. But I think these are going to be awesome, and I just can't wait to implement them. So make sure to subscribe to my blog, and that way you can get your hands on these. Again, they are totally free, and so you can print them as many times as you want, and that way you can kind of do a check-in and you can see where you're at and what things you may need to improve on for the next week. And make sure that if you do download these, you tag me on Instagram and show me how you have planned these out and how you have used these, just so I can get some encouragement, and I can also get some inspiration from you guys as well, because I get tons of inspiration from all of you, and so I need to see this so that way I can see what you decided to do with them. So make sure to tag me on Instagram. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to an overhead shot and walk you through these printables. All right, so I'm just going to show you really briefly all of the printables that are included. Again, it is a free download if you are a subscriber to my blog. And so I'm going to go through each one of these just to show you how they differ from one to the next. And so this is the main one that probably most of you will download because it has everything here. And again, it has the dotted lines around the edge so that way you can easily cut it or slice it with your slicer. And so this one has a weekly checklist. At the top here it says my week in review. It has a personal section and a work section, which has 3 different bullet points within those sections. The next one here is a little bit different, and how it differs is that it doesn't have this weekly checklist. So it does have the 3 bullet points here under each section. Everything else is pretty much the same. The only difference is it doesn't have this weekly checklist here. And then the final one is really just a blank template. So if you just want just a basic starting point, you don't need all of the other stuff there, and you just kind of want to create it based on what you think should go there, then this is going to be the one for you. And all 3 of these are included in the set for free. And so you have 3 different ones that you can choose from based on your needs. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the main one here, and I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to use it within my planner and exactly how you cut it out and punch it and all that good stuff. And then what I'm thinking I'm going to do is every Sunday, if you guys support it and this is something that you want to do, then I am going to do a video on my channel where I'm going to review my week, and I'm going to write this all in while I'm filming it. So if it's something that you want to see, then make sure to leave me a comment below, and of course like this video so that way I'll know that that's something that you want to see. And maybe that'll be like a weekly series on my channel where I'll just come and I'll do my week in review. And I think that would be beneficial for a lot of you because sometimes I do get comments that you guys want to see more after the pen spreads, and I do after the pen spreads, but typically I post them on my Instagram, and maybe some of you may not be following me on Instagram, you may not have Instagram. And so if I do a video where I kind of show you like a real life scenario and like real life, like this is like what I do and what I don't do, then I think that may be beneficial. So let me know if that's something that you think that you may want to see, and I will implement that in my filming schedule. And so that way I can kind of keep myself in check, and then you guys can kind of see, and we can work together to just see what we're actually accomplishing, because I definitely don't want to be a planner and not a doer. That is not the goal here. In my planning world, I want to make sure that I'm actually doing what I write. And so I'm thinking having this list here to just keep me in check, and I need to be kept in check sometimes. And so that's what the plan is. So let me know if that's what you want to see. So I'm gonna really quickly go over this and show you exactly how it's broken down, and then I'll cut it out, put it in my planner, and then I'm super excited to show you guys maybe Sunday or Monday how it all works out. So as you can see, again, it's got dotted lines on the outside, so that way you can cut it with your scissors or you can cut it with your slicer like I will be showing you today. I left a little margin here so that way you can punch it. It's going to fit perfectly in your happy planner. Now this is designed for the classic size happy planner, so you guys will have to let me know if you want one for the mini happy planner and the big happy planner. Now the only thing I was thinking with the mini happy planner is that this may be too small, but let me know. I'll create it. It's easy. I just have to scale it down, or you can scale it down actually. The only thing is that with this it'll still not completely fit. It'll just be wonky. So maybe I'll just create one. Just let me know what you guys want to see and what you think I should add, and of course I'll add it all for free to my blog. Again, you just have to be a subscriber there, and you can have members only access, and that will give you access to not only this printable but all of the printables that I upload, and I am constantly uploading new printables for your enjoyment. So let me know and I'll create one for those planners as well. So as you can see here at the top, it says my week in review, and then you've got a place here where you can write in the date, and typically you're going to write from this date to this date. And then you have sections here. The first section is personal, second section is work or business, and within those sections you've got 3 bullet points. So the first one is big wins, and so what I'm going to track here is just wins, you know, things that I have accomplished throughout the week that I'm proud of. Any milestones, I'm gonna write those here as well. Anything that's happened with the kids, you know, just anything that I want to make sure that I kind of commend myself for, or commend the kids for, or commend my husband for, or if just, you know, anybody needs any commendation, then if I write the big win here, then I can remember to do that. And I just want to reflect on that because, of course, anything that you're winning at in life is just going to help you push on forward towards more big wins. So I thought that that was an important section. Next one is what didn't work. So I thought I would include this just so you can write out what didn't work from that week. So that way you can change it for the next week and you don't continue to do the same things that are not working, because if they're not working, of course, you don't want to continue to beat your head against the wall doing the same old stuff. So you want to make sure you write out what didn't work. And then the final bullet point here is how will I improve? So anything that didn't work, you want to make sure that you write how you're going to improve that for the next week. So again, you don't do the same things over and over again. And it just kind of keeps you in check. So that way you can see, what works from week to week and just what you need to change and what you may need to keep based on what didn't work and what did work. So just thought I'd include those sections there. I think they are beneficial to a weekly review. And so that is the same thing with the work section, same 3 bullet points. So you can write those in every Sunday and just kind of reflect and really think about this page, really think about what you're writing out. So that way you could be more productive next week. And that is what the key is here when you're planning. You want to be productive as well. And so keeping yourself in check by having some sort of weekly review, I think is going to be beneficial, and so that is why I decided to implement it within my planning. So the next box here is for your weekly review checklist, and this is just a checklist of things that you can do, and you can sit down and you can write these things out if you want. There is plenty of space on the back where you can write them out, or you can just use it just as a model checklist just to make sure that you're on track for next week in terms of all of the things that you need to do and get done. And it just kind of helps you to kind of prioritize things and really sit down and think about what you have going on. Because I think a lot of times, and particularly for me, when I started out in the planning community, I could have really used a checklist like this, because how it's broken down is it's going to really help you. And so if I had a checklist like this, I think that it wouldn't have taken me so long to figure out this whole planning world and how to kind of get my thoughts out. And so let me tell you really quickly how it's broken down. So the first thing here says capture. So within capture, you should get things out of your head and onto paper. And that's huge for me because I'm constantly thinking about things like all day, like random thoughts pop into my head, and I sometimes just need a way to get it out. And so that's where brain dump kind of comes into play. Try to maybe have a section within your planner where you can just dump it all out. What I typically do is, because a lot of times I'm on the go, so it's not realistic for me to just pull out my planner and write it in, is I use the Notes app on my iPhone and I just type it in there. And then once I get home, I transfer that to my planner. So maybe you may want to implement a similar system, but it's definitely going to be beneficial to just get it all out of your head and get it on paper. Like, see what you're working with. So of course that is an important step. So the next thing, it says to collect any other notes. So you're going to collect any sticky notes that you posted places in your planner or throughout your house. If you do that, on your mirror, just any loose papers that have things that you need to do, or important documents, or just things that you want to make sure that you accomplish throughout that next week. Also for me, any important documents for the kids' school, any things I need to sign, just any paperwork that you want to make sure you get done for that following week. You want to collect all that and you want to put it all in one place in an effort to prep. And the next thing kind of goes hand in hand with that, which is to categorize appropriately. So when you're gathering all that paperwork, you want to make sure that you're kind of putting things in their place. So that way, when you're planning it out, if you plan like me, you guys know I plan in subjects, then you can kind of know where each thing fits. So I would definitely categorize them appropriately as well. The next thing to do is to reflect. So you want to be asking yourself these questions. The first one is, did I get my to-dos done? And for me, I don't always get my to-dos done, and that's okay, because I normally, whatever I don't get done, typically is not urgent. It just gets pushed to the next week. So you definitely want to ask yourself that, because there could be a valid reason why you didn't get those to-dos done. And if so, you want to know that. So the next question here is, if not, then why? So you definitely want to reflect on why you didn't get it done. Did you overschedule yourself? Did you just get lazy? I mean, what is the reason why you didn't get those to-do list items done? Why? Why didn't you get them done? So that is an important question to ask yourself. Next one is, did I make progress on my goals? So if you're like me, you're writing out your goals on a weekly basis. Some of you may write them out daily, and you want to see, are you progressing on those goals? Because some goals are short-term goals, some goals are long-term goals. And so any of those goals, based on what type of goal they are, you want to see, are you moving closer to that goal? Are you staying stagnant? What's up? Like, what is the deal here? And so you definitely want to know, if not, why? Why are you not making any progress on those goals? And so that is a great way to reflect. And so that way, next week, again, whatever didn't work, you're going to figure out how you can improve on it. And so that's the key here. So the next bullet point item here is to plan next week. So again, that's why I said this would have been beneficial to me to have, because planning was very difficult for me in the beginning. So these are some questions that you can ask and you can use as a guide when planning. So you can ask yourself, what commitments do you have? You can also ask, do you need to do any prep work? Is there anything that you need to be able to make sure that you achieve those commitments? How much sensibly can you do in a day? And so this sometimes is a challenge for me, because sometimes when I'm sitting down to write my to-do list out or planning, I'm just dumping it all on one day. Monday. Monday is the day I'm doing everything. Like, I'm Superwoman on Monday. But in reality, you're really not. I'm not. And so the best thing to do is break it up. And so you need to really figure out, first and foremost, sensibly, what can you do in one day? And so once you figure that out, then you'll know where to place all of those to-do lists or action items. So the next thing is to start or carry over your to-do list. Now, I do this a lot, all the time, because for the most part, I'm not able to achieve everything, and I'm constantly adding to that to-do list, so it makes it a little bit more challenging for me to complete everything I have to do. And so what I do is I just carry it over to the next day, and eventually at the end of the week, if there are any additional items that remain, then I carry it over to the next week, as long as it's not urgent. The next thing here is to start or carry over your goals. So that is the same type of concept. Long-term goals, of course, will be carried over. Short-term goals may be carried over as well, but just assess those goals to see where you are within the process and see if you need to push them or if you need to light a fire under your butt and get them done, because that may be the case as well. Next thing is to put a time frame on important things. And so within my planner, I typically don't plan hourly, but sometimes I may pop in an hourly page throughout that week, depending on how busy it is. So I do time my things out. I just don't put it in that order on my planner, so it may look a little bit confusing to some of you. But what I typically do is my appointments are at the top of my planner. So let me show that to you really quick, just so you can get a kind of an idea, because sometimes it's easier to just show you than to explain it. And so anything that has a timestamp on it is going to go in schedule, because normally that's what it is. Somewhere you got to go, an errand you got to do, things like that typically are going to go in my schedule section, and they always have a timestamp on them. And so what I do is I just write in the time here. And so if there's anything that is timed that I have to do by a certain time, for the most part, it's going to be a schedule item. Now, if it is a business item, education, cleaning, faith, any of that stuff, I write the time in there as well. And I'm constantly scanning the column that I'm in, so I stay within my lane, and that way I can see what I've got going on, and I can see if there's any time limits or timed items, and I can see exactly, what I need to do. And if it's really, really super, super important, I just put it on my phone, so that way I get a alarm which tells me I need to be here at this time, and that works for me. So definitely make sure that you put a time frame on important things, and that is also encompasses you saying, well, this goal I want to do by this time. So it's not only just timed events and outings and errands that you need to do, but it's also putting time frames on things you want to accomplish that may not necessarily have one usually, but you want to, like, let's say you want to clean everything by 2 o'clock. Things like that. You want to get XYZ goal done, by 5 o'clock on Saturday. Things like that. Try to put a time limit on them, and that way it probably, I'm sure, will make it more beneficial for you in the long run, and also it'll push you to get it done. So it's just a suggestion, but I would definitely recommend putting a time frame. I think that it's important, and I think it could help. Then you also want to balance key things reasonably. Again, that kind of is in this bullet point here where it says how much sensibly can you do in a day. Balance, that is very important. Don't overschedule yourself like I do, and say you can be Superwoman like I do. Make sure that you have a reasonable balance, and that will make you more happy and less overwhelmed and less stressed. So that is all under plan next week. That's a lot, but I think it's all important. The next thing that you want to do is review. So review those goals. Are those goals clear, actionable, measurable, dated? Remember, we talked about dates. So this is all review. Anything that needs to be changed, added, or deleted. So once you plan your week out, you're going to review your week just to make sure that you're keeping yourself in check and you're not trying to overdo it. So I definitely say review that action plan that you created, and just make sure that you are not doing too much. So review is important. And again, for me, I'm going to write all this out here. I may not write out every single thing on this side, but I am going to use this as a guide for planning for the next week. And hopefully that will make me a lot more productive. So the next thing is to scan the next 4 weeks. Now, I don't always do this, but I think this is super important. I think it could be really, really helpful just to scan the next 4 weeks to see if there are any important dates coming up and if there's any preparation needed. So that is where I'm lacking, because a lot of times I'm not looking too far ahead, and sometimes I miss things and I miss doing things and I have to cram it all in the day before or the day of, and that makes me super stressed. So I'm really planning on implementing this for sure, just to kind of scan the next 4 weeks just to see what's going on and start putting some of those items in my to-do list. If I've got to pick things up or do anything in particular, go ahead and write it on my to-do list. It's going to get pushed till I really need to do it, hopefully not the day before, but I think scanning those next 4 weeks will definitely help to just be more prepared. The last thing is to prepare. So are there any important dates you need to prepare for? Again, when you're scanning your next 4 weeks, you want to see, what do I have to prepare for? And pick up whatever is needed. And so that is your weekly review checklist. And so this is going to go for the next week when you're preparing, because again, this is your week in review for the past week. And then this is going to be just a model checklist for you to plan everything out, so some of these things don't occur or more of these things do occur, and it will help you with that. So that is the weekly review in a nutshell. So hopefully this will really benefit you guys, and that's why I wanted to offer it for free, because I think that this will help some of you who kind of just are a little bit lost with planning, and you also don't feel like you're accomplishing as much as you want, like I sometimes do. This will just give you some sort of a starting point with the weekly checklist and a check to check yourself with a weekly review, and just make sure that you kind of reflect on wins, losses, and how you will improve. So let me show you how you cut them out. Again, they are super easy. So I've got my slicer right here. I love anything Fiskars, because I know some of you have been asking me which slicer do I like. I love this Fiskars. This has been my go-to. I do have like 3 or 4 slicers, but they never quite seem to work out as well as this one. So I just replace the blade whenever I need to, and it works out very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and on the dotted line, I'm gonna go a little bit inward just so I don't catch any of that line. And then we're gonna cut around the entire border. And if you guys do use this, make sure to let me know how helpful it's been to you. Again, I would love it if you guys tag me on Instagram just so I can see. I like when you guys do that. It really helps me just to see if I'm being helpful to the planner community or to any one person in particular. It doesn't have to be everybody, but am I helping anybody? I know I get your comments and everything, and I feel super encouraged by that, but sometimes I love just seeing it in action. So make sure to tag me so I can see how you decided to use them. All right, so that is that. And so this is how it looks at its true size. So as you can see, it's going to fit perfectly in that planner. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my punch. As you guys know, I use the ARC disc bound punch. I do not use a Happy Planner punch, because before I started using Happy Planner, I already had this, and this is actually really awesome. It's very durable. It's a little pricey, but from what I've heard from others, this holds up a little bit better than Happy Planner punch. So I just lined it up, and I just want to make sure that the spacing is correct, and it should be 9 for your classic size planner. Then punch it. All right, here's the real test. Does it fit in my planner? Because I haven't tried it yet, so let's see. So let's open up, and what I'll probably do is put one of these in every week. And so that way, because what I do, because a lot of you guys ask me, what do I do with my old planner pages? How do I store them? What do I throw them away? Like, what do I do? So I keep a planner for a year after I've used it. And then once that next year is done, I'm purging the previous year, if that makes sense. So I'm going to keep this planner for 2018 all the way through 2019. And then I'm going to toss it at the end of 2019. And so that'll keep going, you know, year over year. So 2019's planner will be kept, you know, through 2020, if that makes sense to you. I like to keep my planner for a year just so I can look back, because a lot of times I consider it almost like scrapbooking too. And so I look back on things that may have occurred, like with the kids, milestones, and just life. And I like looking back on it. So that's the plan. We'll see how it works. This is kind of like my first full year of planning. I haven't been on YouTube for a year yet. I've only been on YouTube for 11 months. My 1 year anniversary will be September 20th, so I'm super excited about that. It will be 1 full year on YouTube. And also, thank you guys. I forgot to tell you, yesterday I reached 1 million views on YouTube, which is crazy even to say out loud. I mean, I'm lost for words because I just kind of started my channel as a hobby. And so I don't know, I just never really thought I would ever get there. I used to look at other channels and say, like, how the heck do they get to that point? And so I'm just so grateful, so grateful. You have no idea. And I really just appreciate all of your support. And so once we get to 20K, which we are at about 18 and some change, I'm doing another giveaway. And I know I just did a giveaway, but I'm doing a giveaway, okay? I'm doing a giveaway. So that's what my plan is, because I have to show you guys my appreciation. Constantly trying to do that because I'm just super grateful. So as you can see, to get back to the video, it fits in here perfectly. It looks great. You guys know I love neutral stuff. I didn't want it to be too busy. I want it to just be black and white, so that way you can just write it in. You can use colored markers, colored pens, whatever you want, just to make colors pop. You can add stickers to this if you want to. So we're gonna do a weekly review. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna probably write it in on camera. Let me know if you guys want to just see this. You want me to break it down and talk you through what I wrote out, or if you actually want to see me writing it out on camera with stickers and stuff, let me know, because I'll do whatever y'all want me to do in this particular case, just to show you guys some inspiration and how you can use it. So that's the plan, guys. I'm super excited about this. I'm really excited about this. More excited than I've been about a lot of other things. I'm excited about this. And then you've got tons of space here on the back. I was gonna make a separate line page, but you would have to do a double-sided print, and for some people it may be a challenge, so you can just write it in. It's not a biggie, right? Y'all, I'm excited. Okay, so I thought I just wanted to show you that really quickly. So I broke it all down for you. You know exactly how it works. You know how you can use it. And then we're gonna work together on this, so that way I can show you how you can use it real time, and then we can plan together. Maybe you can go ahead and have yours ready and we could plan together. That would even be better. So that is the view that I wanted to show you guys, just to talk you through it all. And so that is pretty much it for me showing you the actual paper and how to cut it and all that stuff. Again, it's going to be available on my blog, so make sure that you are subscribed. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You guys really stuck around with me, and I appreciate it. Like I said earlier, 1 million views is a lot. And so just to even say it, super grateful. So I really appreciate that. Any of you who have really been kind of here from the beginning, you guys are amazing. And if you're new here on my channel, I really appreciate you for hitting that subscribe button. And I hope that you have been enjoying my content and you'll stick around for the future. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it more than you know. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Once again, if you want to download this printable, it is free. All you have to do is just be subscribed to my blog at AtHomeWithQuita.com, and you too can enjoy this free printable. Make sure to stop back by, let me know if it worked for you, and catch me on next week's video, where I will be showing you real-time planning on that weekly review sheet, in hopes that it will really help me be more efficient and more proactive, and also just to make sure that I'm keeping myself in check and really making sure I'm accomplishing those things that I'm planning to accomplish. So catch me on that video, and I hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel and also giving me a big thumbs up. So thanks again for joining me today, and I hope that you will stop by next time, in which case I'll see you then.